So, before I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this page. Like, I don't do makeup, I said, and I didn't know. And I was thinking about it. It's like 2:10 in the morning now. Obviously, I haven't gone to sleep. And I was just like, talk about my favorite place in the world, and that is Manhattan. And I'm from Long Island. I think that a lot of people where I live don't really take advantage of the fact that like the greatest city in the world is literally under 45 minutes away. And everyone thinks it's like some huge hassle to try to get there and find parking and it's dangerous or it's just too much to do and they feel like they could get just as much and have as much fun here. But the only options you have here are go to the mall or get something to eat, watch a movie. I mean, how many times can you do the same thing? I mean, it's fun and company is what matters. I mean, I love going out with my friends, don't get me wrong, but I think that there's so many more interesting things to do in the city. And especially, I mean, if you don't have a car and you can't drive like me, it's hard to get around here. So I suggest taking the train for like a half hour and just going somewhere else. So I made this little like list of what I usually do in the city and what you can do and what's fun and whatever, in my opinion, of course. So I'm just gonna talk about that. What I usually do, well, on rare occasions, I suppose, because I don't get that much time to go into the city, even though I would like to. So I take the train in with usually like a best friend or one or two people, and we go to Penn Station, which is like 34th Street East near Macy's, and we walk either downtown toward this great place. It's called Italy. It just opened last year. It's like 30,000 square feet or something ridiculous like that, and it's all Italian food. And it's like, I don't know if you've heard of BJ's, but it's like BJ's. It's this huge like warehouse of different types of foods and pastas and meats and fish and whatever. And each section has its own restaurant, and it's really really good. I brought my cousins there from Italy last year, and they felt like they were at home. Or at least that's what they told me. I don't know. Maybe they're just being nice, but I liked it. It was tasty. So sometimes I walk there first and get like a coffee or something. And it's in the 20s somewhere. It's near the Flatiron Building, which, true fact, was one of the first skyscrapers. That's why it's famous, not because it looks like a triangle. And so we walk there, and then we walk uptown. Well, not really uptown, but to Midtown, 42nd Street, Times Square area, just to see what's going on, look in some of the stores there. My favorite chain restaurant there is Bubba Gump. Of course, I'm not going to go eat at Italy and Bubba Gump. I mean, I'm not crazy. But that's my favorite place in Times Square if you're going to go to one of those chain restaurants. But avoid those at all costs because they're not all they're cracked up to be. And they're like 10,000 times more expensive than everything else. It's not worth it. But if you're there and you're hungry, go to Bubba Gump. It's based on that movie Forrest Gump. It has good shrimp. Good shrimp. So from Times Square, we go toward Rockefeller Center because it's a little bit less crowded there, except at Christmas time. And across from Rockefeller Center is Saks Fifth Avenue, and it's a really high-end like store, kind of like Bloomingdale's. But we don't go there to shop. We go there for their brownies because on the shoe level, which is I think the 8th floor or 7th, it's around there somewhere, they have this chocolate cafe, and there's a conveyor belt, and like all these different cookies and cakes and brownies like go around there, and they're the fudgiest brownies like in the entire world. They're just absolutely delicious, and they're so fun, and you feel really fancy there. I don't know, I like it. And we walk around Rockefeller Center because especially at Christmas time, even though it's crowded, you just feel like, all right, it is Christmas, it's the holidays. I mean, even if you don't feel like it before you get there, you feel like it when you're there. And Saks Fifth Avenue does this whole light display, and there's all the holiday windows and stuff. So if you don't mind the crowds, definitely like look into that. Recently, also on the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, which was like December 8th, I go to Catholic school, so I had off, and so did my friend, and we decided to celebrate kind of not how people would normally celebrate. I mean, we didn't go to mass like we should have probably. We actually we got all dressed up, and we went into the city early, and we made reservations at this really nice restaurant called BG, which is in Bergdorf Goodman, and that's right across from the Plaza Hotel, which is on like 59th Street, and it is so nice there because you're higher up, so you're looking right across the trees in Central Park, and on a nice day, it's just so pretty, and all the food is so good, and everyone's so classy, and it's just like you feel important. I mean, it makes you feel like great, and the food was of course really good. I had some chicken thing, and the mashed potatoes were like amazing. I mean, I'm half Irish, and the only thing I really like that is Irish food is mashed potatoes, and they had truffle oil, which is it was just so good. And we had a little plate of cookies, and they had some macaroons, which were my favorite. So I was over the moon, extremely ecstatically happy. But you can't do that every time you go to the city because it's definitely a treat. It's kind of pricey. Um, on normal occasions, like the free stuff is awesome. Highline Park is one of my personal favorites now. It just opened also a year or two ago, and it's around West 20th Street and 10th Avenue. It's actually an abandoned like railway track that they don't use anymore, and the city was going to take it down, but the people in the area decided that they liked it. I mean, it was like historic. It had some significance to them in some way, and rather put it to good use than completely get rid of it. So they made this park it's like above the street, and it's kind of narrow, and you just walk, and all the stuff looks really natural. Like there's no like flower pots. It's just like it's grasses, and people are reading and doing yoga and like whatever they want and walking around. It's less touristy. I mean, I'm sure it will get more touristy, but I don't know. It just has a different feel than Central Park. It's more like real. I don't know. I'm not describing it right. You really need to just go there and see for yourself. There's even my sister does like this trampoline school, which is under the park, and it's really crazy stuff goes on there. It's just so much fun. My number one thing for when you're in the city is just to walk everywhere. Like you'll miss out on so much if you're just taking the train or the subway when you're underground, or the taxis and the buses. I mean, it's definitely easier, and if you're in a rush, like go for it. Like subway's awesome. I mean, it's a little gross, but it'll get you where you need to be. Um, but when you walk, you find so many interesting things that are not like they're not well known, but they're good. Like everything's awesome. There's so many things to see and try, and like you just experience the city completely different. Um, I I could walk all day. Like I would walk from my house if I could. I don't know how, and I don't know who would do it with me. But maybe when I'm older, that's something I'll try. Um, Even like I think that you should go to the city alone because you can see what you want to see. You're not like worrying about if the other person's bored or tired or who's hungry, who has to go to the bathroom, like what time do you have to be home at, whatever. Like go on your own and just like explore. I mean, you have to be safe, so don't be an idiot. Don't go where you're not supposed to be. Like stay where it's safer or where there's some flow of people, so you're not completely like desolate and isolated. But just take it in. I mean, bring a book if you feel like you look awkward. But really, like no one cares what you're doing. Like just be yourself. Go, enjoy. Um, if you are gonna go alone, then I recommend going to the Frick Museum, which is it's Upper East Side. It's near Central Park, and it's not to go like look at paintings or like oh my god like There's such important things. You're not gonna find the Mona Lisa. Obviously, that's in France. You're not gonna find anything famous like that. It's just a really nice building, and there's this little garden with a fountain, and it's a nice place to sit down and chill and think or do some like homework or study or whatever. I know it's like I think it's cheaper for students to get in, so it's not that expensive, and it's a gorgeous place to just reflect and get away from the crowds because it's not as popular as the Met or the Museum of Natural History. You're not there to like look at the stuff. You're there to just like be a part of it, kind of in a way. And always like don't go to the same place twice. Try to try something new all the time. Um, in this over the summer, I went to this restaurant in Nolita, which is north of Little Italy, and it's like they have a set menu every night, and every night that set menu is different, and it's like 7 courses, and it's this little hole in the wall, like you wouldn't know it, except for if you like read the paper like the week before. It's just and it was amazing. Like I've never been there before. I haven't been there since because I've tried other ones like it. You just you're gonna miss out if you always go to the same place. Um, my dad's birthday actually is tomorrow, and we're trying a new restaurant called the San Ambrose, which is on the Upper East Side as well. And we've been there for like desserts before, but we've never actually had dinner. And it's also really it's fancy, it's elegant. So I'm looking forward to that because I haven't gone to a party in a while, and I really, really, really want to wear a dress. I love dresses. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. And my final thing in the city is to get involved in charities. I mean, there's so many people who need help, and Manhattan has such a high flow of people. I mean, there's so many people there that there's definitely someone you could reach out to, and it's really easy. Even like there's so many homeless people. Um, just pack a sandwich or something when you're going, because I know some people don't want to give money because they don't know like what these everyone's background is, or maybe they're using it for drugs, maybe it's not going to go somewhere that needs it. But if you pack like food, it's definitely going to go to a good cause, because if they need it, they're going to appreciate it. Like that's whatever little thing you can do will help. So just give out some sandwiches, give out something. My mom used to actually always give a quarter to everyone because you never know who needs it and who doesn't. Like just always try to help. Um, a lot of charities also do events in Manhattan, and you could just Google those and get involved with them. I just actually a few minutes ago Googled like charity events New York City. 1,000 pages come up. Like there's so many things to do. Bryant Park I know often has like yoga and meditation and things like that, and it's all free. My favorite charity is the Somali Man Foundation, and they had a benefit in Manhattan in October. And there's so many things to get involved in. So if whatever your interest is, just look into it and plan your trip ahead of time. And there's a lot for you to do. So I'm gonna go now. This is like a ridiculously long video. So if you made it to this point, like congratulations. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, I mean, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna direct these videos towards. So just let me know what I should talk about. All right. Just tell me I shouldn't talk at all. I mean, it'd be kind of hurtful, but I'll accept it. All right. Bye, guys. Good night.